and gentlemen, hello and welcome to our English news edition coming to you from Canal, Algérie. I'm your host, Maysa Doumas. To the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, congratulates U.S. Khanshla and Mouloudiyyat al-Bayyad following their progress to the National First Division Football Championship. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, terminates the duties of the Governor of the Bank of Algeria, Rustam Fadil, and appoints Salah ad-Din Talib. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, receives the Secretary General of the General Union of the Algerian Workers, Salim Labacha. On the second day of his working visit to the 2nd Military Region in Oran, the Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Lieutenant General Said Shengriha, supervises a tactical exercise carried out by the naval forces. Those were today's headlines. First in our news, in a tweet message, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, congratulated U.S. Khanshla football team and their fans following their progress to the first division of the National Football Championship and wished them all the best in the upcoming competition next season. The President of the Republic also extended his congratulations to the Mouloudiyyat al-Bayyad and their fans after joining U.S. Khanshla in the same division, wishing them all the best during the next year's contest. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, terminated the duties of the Governor of the Bank of Algeria, Rustam Fadil, and appointed Salah ad-Din Talib as a new governor of the same bank. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received on Monday the Secretary General of the General Union of the Algerian Workers, Salim Labacha. The audience took place at the Presidency in the presence of the Principal Private Secretary of the Presidency, Abdelaziz Khalaf. Following the audience, Salim Labacha had this to say.
اتحاد العام للعمال الجزائريين ثابت عن مبادئه المترسخة.
The General Union of the Algerian Workers, which sticks to its principles, has the President's initiatives meant to close ranks of the Algerian people for a common approach for the country's interest and progress. During the meeting we held with the President, we reiterated our readiness to help this initiative achieve its goals. We evoked also the social and economic aspects. We are optimistic concerning that point, despite the economic and the health situation dictated by coronavirus. Thanks to the President's policy, other measures are in the offing to the benefit of the middle and vulnerable classes and workers via gradual review of salaries and subsidies.
On the second day of his working visit to the 2nd Military Region in Oran, the Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Lieutenant General Said Shengriha, supervised a tactical exercise carried out by the naval forces. Manal Ammari has the details.
The Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Lieutenant General Said Shengriha, visited the main naval base of Marsa al-Kbir, where he was received by the Major General Mahfoud bin Maddah, commander of the naval forces, before following in the presence of Major General Jamal Haj al-Arousi, commander of the 2nd Military Region, and Major General Hasnat Belqasem, acting head of the National People's Army's Department of Employment and Preparation of the High Command. A presentation on the general idea and the execution steps of a tactical exercise of the naval forces with anti-surface missile fire entitled SR 2022, carried out by the relevant units of the naval forces, including submarines, naval aviation aircrafts, as well as the ground forces. The Lieutenant General then inspected the naval detachments that took part in the exercise and visited a few floating units so as to inquire about the status of their various components, equipment, and modern weapon systems. On board of the command and the forces production vessel, Qalat Bani Abbas, board number 474. The Chief of Staff of the National People's Army followed at the level of the Western Seaboard Shooting Range the launch of an anti-surface missile from a corvette on a maritime target before supervising the execution of programmed marine actions, namely artillery shells. The naval units involved performed the exercise with great professionalism, showcased by the perfect cohesion between the different units and the careful execution of all the planned steps of the exercise, where the surface target was destroyed with high precision and the firing of artillery shells were executed with flawless performance. This new success denotes the results of the good conduct by the crews, various arms and equipments, confirming the development and operational availability reached by units of the Algerian naval forces in recent years.
لسير التمرين. The extension of the Algiers metro is in full swing, with the line linking El Harraj to Houari Boumediene International Airport, a mega project due to ensure a better transportation for the capital residents. Leticia Sidqawi.
The project of Algiers metro line connecting Al Harraj station to Hawari Boumediene International Airport reached advanced stages, with the digging of tunnel connecting Bab Zouar Business Center metro station to Hawari Boumediene Airport station. It's the last step of the first phase of the tunneling. There will be a second phase from Wet Samar to Al Harraj to link to Al Harraj Center station that is operational. It is a very important line of 9.5 kilometers and of 9 stations. It includes 4 municipalities: Al Harraj, Wad Samar, Dar al Bayda. The project in progress is supervised by Algerian competences with state-of-the-art technologies. The new technology is TBM, tunnel boring machine. In comparison with old technologies, it guarantees 3 important factors: quality, employee safety, and time.
Today
we celebrated the arrival of the excavation machine, tunnel boring machine TBM, to Hawari Boumediene Airport after it crossed the distance of 5 kilometers, starting with Samar station. We have a group in Algeria that masters this job, which is the achievement of the tunnel and the stations. In other words, the whole urban metro. Today, we have human competence potentialities in line with international standards, and the proof is the achievement you witnessed with us, with advanced technologies used by Algerian competences. The line connecting the airport of Algiers to Al Harraj Center is expected to facilitate the citizens' transportation, with more than 400 travelers expected per day.
In order to boost the Algerian-Qatari cooperation relations, the Interior Minister Canal is on a 3-day visit to Qatar. Canal will also take part in the proceedings of the 14th session of the exhibition Milipol Qatar, dedicated to the latest global innovations in the field of security and civil defense, with the participation of 40 countries from all over the world. Still with cooperation, the CEO of the electricity company Sonalgaz, Morad Ajjal, received on Monday here in Algiers a delegation from the Libyan General Electricity Company headed by Wiam Fethi El Abdelli. During the meeting, the two sides discussed ways to enhance partnership in the energy field. The British journalist Martin Jay believes that the Ukrainian crisis has forced Morocco's calculations and plans regarding the issue of Western Sahara. Rania Al-Bahri tells us more.
According to British journalist Martin Jay, the conflict in Ukraine has raised the question of non-colonization, which has been kept aside in the United Nations. In his contribution to the think tank, the Strategic Culture Foundation, the journalist evoked what they consider to be the worst that Morocco can imagine on the subject of Western Sahara. That is to say that the United States can do nothing to help Morocco in its goal to rally maximum support for its colonization thesis. The author of the article further considered that neither the U.S. President Joe Biden nor his Secretary of State Antony Blinken can do anything to lend their support to Morocco, which is hoping for former U.S. President Donald Trump's return to power in 2024. The worst possible thing that can happen for Rabat, who hope to exploit Trump's decision to support the Moroccan proposal regarding granting pseudo-autonomy to Western Sahara against normalization with Zionist entity, said the journalist, highlighting that the return of Trump constitutes the greatest wish of Al-Makhzen. According to Martin Jay, the American President Joe Biden still opposes Trump's decision on Western Sahara and finds himself constrained in this situation. Indeed, Biden's political views are in conflict with the idea that one country colonizes another, and his line of action is in accordance with the United Nations that provide for a democratic solution that foresees a referendum for self-determination for the Sahrawi people.
The Sahrawi prisoner of Gdim Izi group, the journalist Mohammed Lamin Haddi, is being tortured in Moroccan jails. The Moroccan occupying forces are continuing their policy of inhumane repression against the Sahrawi journalist. His brother said that Mohammed Lamin's jail cell was sprayed with toxic substance while he was inside and that his health situation is worsening each day. That was it for our news edition. Thanks for tuning in to our program. Good night.